Hello everyone, welcome to the series of Salesforce testing. In this series, I will be discussing only about Salesforce testing. So, before proceeding further with this course, you should know Salesforce administration topics and software testing basics, as this will be a dedicated course of Salesforce testing only. In this video, I have mentioned few topics so that you all can take reference, and knowing basics of Salesforce platform and software testing is enough to learn Salesforce testing. So here in this course I will be discussing only about Salesforce testing. So let's begin with our first video, which is what is Salesforce testing. Salesforce testing refers to the process of systematically evaluating and verifying the functionality, performance, and security of Salesforce application and configurations. It ensures that Salesforce-based solutions meet the desired requirements and work as expected. So, in simple terms, the meaning of Salesforce testing is making sure that all the buttons, links, and other features are working as expected or not, which helps to ensure that everything runs smoothly and people can use it without any problems. Important topics to know before starting with Salesforce testing. So, before diving into Salesforce testing, it's essential to have a solid understanding of Salesforce fundamentals or Salesforce admin topics, including its data model, objects, fields, and relationships and workflows. Familiarity with Salesforce platform is crucial. Before starting with Salesforce testing, you should know how to create and manage user accounts, roles, profiles, permission sets, and page layout in Salesforce. Before starting with Salesforce testing, you should know software testing, which involves different types of testing and how and when it is performed. And you should also know how to design test cases, test scripts, and test plans based on requirements. Of testings, or you can say level of testing in Salesforce. So there are generally 5 types of testing that will be conducted. First is unit testing, second system testing, third UAT testing, fourth is production testing, and last is regression testing. Let's start with unit testing. In unit testing, unit tests verify whether a particular piece of code is working properly. This type of testing is done by developer as they build code, and Salesforce requires 75% code coverage. Code coverage indicates how many executable lines of code in your classes and triggers has been exercised by test methods. This is important in that code can be developed in sandboxes and tested by users without unit tests. To push that code to production, the unit test must be written and covered. Not all implementations include code, and this type of testing is needed only when there is code being written. Next is system testing. This testing takes place in system integration testing sandbox. This is where your team manually tests the functionality that was added from the developer sandboxes. This testing is technical and requires manual test scripts to test the functionality end to end. In addition to testing the new functionality, all the existing functionalities should be tested as well to make sure the new feature did not affect existing features in the SIT sandbox. Next is user acceptance testing, which is also known as UAT testing. UAT is where the users test the functionality that has been developed. This is the final gate before pushing to production. This is typically a functional manual test where each functionality is tested and marked as pass or fail. If it fails, it's sent back to the team, or if it passes, it is ready to push to production. This testing requires test scripts that are written for the users to follow in order to completely test the developed functionality. Next is production testing. Once the functionality is pushed to production, another set of manual tests is done. This testing follows the same script as UAT testing. During this testing, each functionality is tested to make sure it still works after being pushed from the UAT environment. Next is regression testing. Once all code has been pushed to production, the final round of testing is called regression testing. Regression testing is done to ensure the newly developed code did not affect any existing functionality. This includes testing all processes that previously existed in the system. Note that regression testing should also be done during system testing. It is then done again as final test when all code is in production. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.